Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Andy the Mad Tatter back with another sales roundup video for you. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope you're all enjoying your bank holiday weekend in the UK, or your weekend in general if you are anywhere else in the world. Just want to start by going into my usual way I start a video, just by saying thank you all for your continued support on my previous videos. We are now at a point where I've got 5 videos online. We've got 84 subscribers, 920 total views on the videos that are up. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be sort of where I am. I never even expected to do anywhere close to this on YouTube, so I'm really impressed with that, and it's all thanks to you guys for being interactive with the videos, watching the videos, subscribing to the channel, sharing them with other people, your likes and everything. It all really helps me, and I appreciate it massively because I never thought this would get to where it's getting to already. I've got 100 subscribers on the horizon. So with that said, I'm going to try and be a little bit more organised with the channel. This is just a little quick sort of heads up with what I'm going to try and do. I know a lot of YouTubers, I'm certainly aware of a lot of YouTubers that have kind of come unstuck trying to do this, so hopefully I'm not going to be one of them. But I think if I can try and deliver a bit more regular content to you guys and stuff like that as well, if you enjoy my content, then that's got to be better for you because you'll see more of it. So I'm going to try once a week to put out a haul video showing you some of the stuff that I've bought. Twice a month now I'm going to do the sales roundup videos. So I'm going to do one about halfway point of the month and one at the end of the month. Reason for that, it's come about from this video really. You may have seen, if you've sort of watched all of my videos or you've seen any of the other videos on my channel, I did a sales roundup video of the first 10 days in April. That video I think has actually been my most popular video so far, but what I'm going to start doing with that is do it twice a month. So you get half the month and then you get the kind of full month at the end of it, because as it happens with this video, having done the first 10 days in April and then now going on to do the remaining days of April, this video is going to be split over 2 parts. So yeah, that's the reason behind that. As and when types of videos, I am going to produce a series on, I'm going to call it Down the Rabbit Hole of Reselling. Those of you who know me and have been with my channel or just know me as a reseller know how inspired I am by Resale Rabbit. So I think the rabbit hole of reselling is just quite an interesting little play on sort of that. Although it does have, yeah, could have some questionable connotations as well, I guess, but we'll just ignore that bit. What else do you guys want to see from me? I really want to know, because if there's anything that, you know, people like on YouTube in general or people want to see from me, I'm more than happy to do it. Do you want me to do some sort of vlogging style videos where I'm going out, you know, and going around the car boots, or going out sourcing, or just sorting through my stock or anything like that? I can do those things. Did you want to see a live video? These are really popular with some YouTubers. You know, they do the hangouts and stuff where you can all sort of chip in the chat and stuff like that as well. So I'm happy to do any of those sort of things. The other thing to consider is I've got 100 subscribers on the horizon, or I certainly like to think I have. I'm really sort of driven now to hit that 100 subscriber point. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do, and encourage others to do likewise if you think that, you know, they're going to benefit from seeing my content. Any ideas, guys, for a milestone video for that 100 subscriber special? I'd really love to hear from you, because I do this channel for you. Yeah, granted, it kind of gets a lot of the chaos out of my own head by just kind of saying things to a camera as well, but I do this channel mainly for you guys, so it's about what you want to see, and if there's anything that you want to see special for a 100 subscriber special, you know, put your answers in the comments below, and if I can do it, I will do it, because I'm nice like that. So let's get on with the first part of the April sales roundup video. This is going to be the first 20 items, I think, that sold after what was in the previous video. So my first video was from the 1st to the 10th of April, and if you've not seen that, there will be a link below in the description. Yes, camera pointed at the laptop again, guys. Usual setup for my high budget, highly effects driven videos. Yeah, so I'll put the link below for the first part of April's sales roundup, and that'll be the 1st to the 10th of April. This video, which as I say is going to be split into 2, is the remainder of April. So we'll be starting from the 11th of April and working through from there. This is everything that I sold in April, what we paid, what we made, and yeah, in the second part of the video you'll see a full roundup for the whole month as well. So stick around for that one. I'll try and put that one up tomorrow. Again, sort of full disclosure, the sales that you're about to see, I was paying a PayPal working capital loan back as well. So the fees for PayPal have been a lot higher than they would ordinarily be for the average seller that's not using PayPal working capital. So the profit figures are less than you would expect if you were doing the same thing. What I will also say is that as of today, which is the 5th of May, my PayPal working capital is actually paid off. So in any future sales roundup videos, barring the one that you'll see tomorrow, so for sales roundup videos from May onwards, you won't be seeing the figure sort of deflated by that PayPal working capital payment. You'll start to see more of a true representation of what the actual income is. Now that it's paid off as well, I will tell you and I will disclose that I was paying it back at a rate of 20% by my own choice. That the 20% that actually applies to it's deducted from your PayPal account. So 20% of everything that goes into your PayPal account, basically. So every sale you make on eBay, they'll take an additional 20% off. So it's been quite a heavy hitting thing, particularly on some of the higher value items, and even on some of the lower value items, to be fair. It's all but wiped out the profit on some of them. But what it has done for the business and what it's done for sort of my standards of stock and my ability to do this a lot more efficiently, it's definitely been worth it. You know, it's been a hard run, I'm not going to lie, and I could go into this in another video as well about using PayPal working capital and stuff. It has been a hard run. It's meant that, you know, I've had to make some personal sacrifices. We've had to make a couple of personal sacrifices around the house because we've not had as much money as we would like. But as I say, what it has done for the business and pushing us forward, it's been really beneficial. So let's get into some items, guys. I'll try not to waffle too much about items and stuff, but if that's what you'd like to hear, let me know. If you don't, also let me know. So, first item. So this is the 10th of April. So the last item that you will have seen on the first video was the polar cadence sensor. This was the other sale from the 10th of April after that. So this was a retail arbitrage item. For those of you, again, not familiar with the terminology, retail arbitrage is buying items from retail stores to sell for a profit. So in this case, the retail store was TK Maxx. This was on final clearance in there for $2.99. It's a Santoro Gorgeous Ruby Pencil Tin. The Santoro brand, they make a lot of different branded giftware in different art styles and things like that, and Gorgeous is their kind of emo-y, gothic-y sort of style, cartoony, cutesy, that kind of picture tells you everything that you need to know about the style of Gorgeous, really. My wife Jo, she's really into it, so she kind of knows how popular it is and which are the popular characters, etc. So we kind of, if we're stocking anything from Gorgeous, Jo is always my go-to on that one. She knows this stuff inside out. So we bought that one for $2.99. It sold for $10.74. After shipping and fees, including obviously the uplifting fees from PayPal there, we actually lost 25p on that one. But that is only, I think, about the fourth item, possibly, overall, since I've been selling on eBay that I've lost any money on. And I've never lost more than £1 on anything either. So in that sense, I think I'm doing pretty well. Ideally, you don't want to lose on any of your items, and that was my first goal. I set a lot of small goals as we're going along, small achievable goals, so that you actually feel like you're progressing. And one of my first goals was to not lose money on any of the items that I was selling. That was a big one. And also to make a sale every day. And by just sort of doubling down and trying to find the best ways to do that, I hit those goals quite quickly. So that one, it sold on a best offer as well. We didn't have best offers turned on this one, but I think the buyer actually inboxed with an offer. So it was up at $8.99 and it sold for $6.79 with $3.95 postage, but we'd had it in for a little while, so we just wanted to kind of turn it around and get some money back in. Buyer left positive feedback as well, so, you know, it's probably worth 25p for a bit of extra positive feedback, so I'll look at it that way. Next, 11th of April, faux suede Gelco tan jacket, ladies, size 18. Picked this up because it just felt really nice quality, and as I've said in other videos, when you start to handle quality, sorry, my hands are in front of the camera a lot, you know I talk with my hands a lot, and just kind of the way it's all set up, it's going to happen. I'm going to be... So, yeah, this Gelco faux suede jacket, it just felt really nice quality when I picked it up. I thought it's nice and lightweight as well. So for a sort of spring-summer kind of transitional jacket, you know, going from the house to the car or whatever, it was perfect. And, yeah, sold that one. No problem at all. No offer. Buyer just paid for it. Cost $9.99. Total price sold for was $38.94, which is $34.99 plus $3.95 postage. And the total made on that one after shipping and fees was $11.28. Yeah, Gelco, not a particularly high-end brand or anything like that. They're a bit of a kind of catalogue brand in some respects. But like I say, the jacket just felt quality, so I didn't really go off the name. I just kind of went off, I thought, yeah, it's quite a nice jacket, so go for it, basically. Sometimes it doesn't need the name. 11th of April, Mrs. Brown's Boys DVD box set. If you're not familiar with Mrs. Brown's Boys because you're not from the UK, it's basically a stand-up kind of... It started out as a stand-up show, became a sitcom. Guy plays a family matriarch of an Irish family, and it's fairly amusing, I guess. Strangely, sold it to Ireland, this one, so that's a bit like sending, snow to Siberia. But there we go, it went to Ireland, to the Republic of Ireland on GSP, so hope they're enjoying that. Bought for $1.49, sold for $10.94, and made $1.71 after shipping and fees there. 12th of April, Pelle 1040 micro waterproof phone box / case. This was quite a big old thing, and I wasn't totally sure if it had a market, but it was only £2.50 when I picked it up, so I thought if nothing else, I might get some use out of it myself, because I kind of like little gadgety boxes and stuff for going out and out with, taking the dogs out and stuff. This was about, can I get this on camera? Probably about, so big, which if you don't know the size of my hands, that's kind of completely irrelevant as well. But it was a reasonably big thing. It wasn't something that you're necessarily going to stick your phone in and then stick it straight in your pocket, hence it having the pocket clip on it there as well, the carabiner. But it's a waterproof, dust-tight, airtight, foam-lined case for your gadgets and stuff like that. And this actually went to a joinery company, so I guess that's sort of makes sense. They work in environments with a lot of dust and stuff like that, so probably something to put your phone in while you're at work. Bought it for £2.50, sold it for $28.94, and made $12.93 after shipping and fees on that one. Next one, this is one of my little sort of guilty pleasure things that I always buy. I always buy a nice chess set, and I'll always buy a nice typewriter. Those are those two things that I just can't sort of say no to. If it's there for the right money and it just sort of speaks to me. I'm by no means a chess grandmaster. I don't even really play chess beyond any sort of basic level. And I'm certainly not a connoisseur of fine chessboards, but I just kind of go off, is it nice? And is it something that I think I can reasonably make money on? And if that's the case, I'll always scoop it up because I just like them. I think they're really photogenic. They look really good on listings. And some of them are quite funny as well. Like this one was quite amusing because the little Spanish conquistador guys there, they look like my granddad. It was hilarious. Anyway, not that I've got a Spanish granddad. They're not very Spanish looking chess pieces. So this one, the pieces were terracotta. Painted terracotta, and it was a folding wooden board. So I absolutely packaged it to within an inch of its life. I wrapped each individual piece in bubble wrap. I then bubble wrapped the pieces in threes in more bubble wrap, and then they were layered in the box with yet more bubble wrap and a big piece of foam from some car parts. So there was loads of packaging on that one. And there needed to be, quite frankly, because with it being sort of a really brittle, fragile, ceramic, I didn't want it to even risk getting a chip on it in the post or anything like that, because the pieces were all mint. There was a little bit of edge wear to the board and a little bit of damage to the board because it's kind of this laminated finish, so the texture and the patterning and everything that you see on top here, that's just basically like a big thick sticker. So that's kind of got a little bit of damage to it there as well. But the buyer was really happy with it. I paid £8 for that one, sold it for $58.94. Made $22.54 on that one, and the buyer left positive feedback and specifically mentioned how well packaged it was as well, so it was worth my time doing all that. Next, we've got a set of 3 Doctor Who hardbacks from BBC Publishing. These are pretty much brand new books, but I still sold them as pre-owned, simply because I don't like... If something is not sealed in a packet, or doesn't have a tag on it, or doesn't in some way resemble what you would buy from a shop, I don't want to sell it as new at all. I put the condition down as like new on this one, and that was a perfectly... I think they probably were new books in all fairness, but I still didn't feel right selling them as brand spanking new. They cost me £1 each, so £3 for the lot. Sold them for $18.94. They actually had $6.95 each on the back of the books as well, so that was the new price of them. So I did them at a relatively good price versus the new price. Made $5.39, and again, the buyer left positive feedback on those, so happy days there. This, you may remember from one of my haul videos where I was showing you remotes and little bits and pieces of cheap stuff you can buy to start selling on eBay to just sort of get a flavour for it, get yourself into being a reseller. This is the PS2, PS3 DJ Hero dongle. Cost 30p because it was bought as part of a bundle of big handful of electronics that they just charged me £2 for. So that works out that it cost me 30p. Sold in total for $10.49, $6.99 plus $3.50 postage. So total profit after shipping and fees on that one was $4.48. Next, I don't do huge numbers of board games. There's a lot of people that do very well with board games, and they are one of those things that if you know what you're looking at, you can do exceptionally well with. I'm not too up on them. I know certainly some of the popular ones, and certainly some of the ones that do well, things like Hero Quest and Hotel and certain Monopoly editions and things like that. They'll always do quite well, so I'm not averse to Monopoly or Cluedo in certain senses, but I'm not big into buying board games like some people are. This one I picked up just because I quite like Go. It's one of those games that I've got apps for on my phone and stuff like that, so I quite enjoy just sort of smashing out a bit of a game of Go here and there. But also, this just felt like a really nice quality set. The board was folding cardboard board, but it was really thick, and it almost felt like wood. The board, it was that nice quality, and then the pieces, the little checkers in the little counters in there, they felt like glass. They felt like moulded glass rather than plastic or anything like that. So they were really tactile as well. And it just felt like a really nice quality set. So for £1.50, I thought I'll give it a go. And no pun intended. I'll give it a go for £1.50. And it actually sold remarkably quickly. I think they sold certainly within a week of being listed, so a lot quicker than I would have thought it would sell. As I say, just something that I took a punt on at £1.50 just to see how it went. It did sell for $17.94, and after shipping and fees made £6.02. Next one. Back to one of my other staples, certainly one of my clothing staples, Diesel Industry jeans. Mentioned these in videos previously. You can't go wrong with them if you're getting them for the right price. I think I'll pay anywhere up to about £8 for a nice pair. Some shops, certainly some charity shops, price them ridiculously. Oxfam are a nightmare for it. They'll generally charge you about £15 a pair for them. And to be fair, if that's if you're happy to pay that for them, don't let me stop you. But I personally don't generally pay over about £8 a pair for nice Diesel jeans, and they always do well. So these were the Wakey jeans, which I think are still in production as well. You tend to find that the ones that are still in production, they sell quite high, they sell quite quickly, and people don't generally bother with offers on them if you're at the right sort of price point. So these sold for $59.99. Total profit after shipping on fees on those was £30.42. Again, would have been considerably more were it not for the PayPal working capital. But there we go. That is what it is, and that's out of the way now. So we'll carry on through this one. Okay, Build-A-Bear. Shout out to Car Boot Chris for putting me on to Build-A-Bear very early on. Build-A-Bear was something that, and plushes in general, was something that very early on I started doing and picking up because they were cheap and you could generally make quite a good return on them without needing too much technical knowledge or too much background on them and things like that. So Build-A-Bear, shout out to Car Boot Chris for putting us onto those. But yeah, This one was Bearamy, which is kind of one of their signature bears, with a full Manchester United kit on. He cost me £1. Sold him for £28.94 to a typically local United fan down in Wolverhampton, I think, where a lot of United fans are from, and that's literally no joke. They're not in Manchester. I'm not football political, to be honest with you guys. It's 22 grown men chasing a bag of wind. As far as I'm concerned, football, it's not for me. I'm much more into motorsport and fighting. But yeah, that's like professional fighting, not like I just go out fighting. But I digress. Total profit after shipping and fees on that one was £13.63. Buyer left positive feedback as well. Did have people messaging me just wanting to buy the football kit. So the clothing for Build-A-Bears is quite popular and quite desirable. And if you've got the right stuff, people will want that off you even. But I wasn't splitting it because I didn't have any other. I didn't want to just sell a nude Build-A-Bear. Next. Company of Animals leather padded halty. So this is an aid to stop dogs from pulling, and it works very much like a head collar would on a horse. So you're effectively leading the dog by its head rather than by its neck. So it gives you a lot more control. Totally humane. It's not a muzzle or anything like that. And they don't hurt the dogs or anything. Part of my background, I did work for a time in the pet trade. I've also had dogs myself all my life. So I'm quite up on dog products and just sort of things that I've personally used before. So also I know what they sell for new, so it does help to sort of have an idea on that. And this is a kind of important skill to have as a reseller as well. Something that I'll always advise new resellers to do, or just anybody that's thinking of giving it a go. When you're starting out and you don't know what to buy, draw on your own knowledge. So what do you know about? What's your professional background, for instance? Do you work in, do you work in like mobile phone industry, telecoms, or do you work in a computer game shop or a book shop, or what do you know? What's your passion even in life? You might be an absolutely avid gamer and want a massive collection of games for yourself. Well, guess what? Other gamers want those games as well. So that's something you could start by looking for, because you'll know that better than the next guy who doesn't know anything about games to begin with. So always draw on your knowledge and your experience when you're starting to resell. That's a little tip for free for you there. Bought for $1.99, sold for $18.94, made $5.99 after shipping and fees, and the buyer left positive feedback on that one as well. Next, another pair of diesel jeans. Took an offer on these. Obviously, as you know, made a counter offer and won because I have to. I can't let the buyer decide how much they're paying for one of my items. It just doesn't work for me, that. But yeah, these were up at $54.99. Buyer shot me an offer at $40. I went back with $45, so we went for it at that. Again, another £3.50 pair here. So these sold on best offer. £3.50, sold for £45 with free postage, and made $21.54 on those. Those are the Diesel Industry Buster jeans, which again are another current style. Next, Jack Wills, fabulously British. Down-filled gilet. Jack Wills was one of those brands which I'd never really heard of in the beginning, and something that I hit onto myself by, as I've said in previous videos, sitting in Costa and just looking at the sort of things people wear and the sort of brands that people wear. This is one that I picked up from there, that a lot of kind of, I would say the sort of 18 to 24-year-olds were probably wearing this kind of brand, and people a little bit older as well. Sort of college, uni type of age, were certainly wearing a lot of Jack Wills. So I knew it was going to be a popular brand. This one I actually picked up at the Bowler's car boot sale. For those of you that know, it's quite a famous one in the Manchester area. There was a charity shop there that was selling off a lot of their stuff cheap. They were selling off everything for £1. So I sharpened up my elbows and dived in. And yeah, that one was £1. Sold it for $36.94. And made £18.37 after shipping and fees. I put fabulously British in the keywords there, because that was what it said in the label as well, and I just thought it's kind of one of those terms that people might search for in the current political climate. I don't know. Anyway, whether that helped sell it or not, I don't know, but that was certainly my motivation for including fabulously British in the wording there. It wasn't perfect to this, actually, interestingly. I tend to try and get the best clothing I possibly can, and I would always advise other people to do the same thing. Always try and get the best of what you can in what you're dealing with. But because this was so cheap, I wasn't too tied up in the fact that the lining was a little bit dirty. But I made mention of that in my listing. I said, we do feel that the lining could do with a professional clean to get it back up to its full, its full potential. But other than that, it's free from any signs of damage or wear, and it was slightly cheaper than they tend to go for around about the 40 quid mark. So I put mine up at $32.99 just to reflect that as well. So yeah, just being fair with your pricing, accurate with you, and honest with your descriptions, and you shouldn't have any problems. If I move this camera around, let me just tweak it back that way ever so slightly. There we go. Next item, still on the 16th of April. It's quite a good day, the 16th apparently. Genuine Apple 30-pin sync dock charger thingy. The Apple 30-pin stuff still sells. People who use the iPods and stuff and the iPod touches on the 30-pin connector, probably the main market for those, but with a lot of the 30-pin stuff, it can be converted to work with the newer style connectors. Apple themselves make a 30-pin to lightning connector, and I've seen some aftermarket ones that plug into your 30-pin port and are like a Bluetooth adapter as well. So 30-pin stuff still sells. It certainly doesn't command necessarily as high a price as the newer lightning-enabled type stuff, but you can still do well with it. This, again, it was only £1, so why wouldn't you? Total selling price, £20.94, and made £10.50 after shipping and fees on that one. Next, still on the 16th. This was actually one of the family's own items, so there's no cost price on this one. We had it up at $34.99. Took a best offer on it at $26.99 and made $15.56 after shipping and fees on that one. Do always sell your own items as well, guys. If you're starting out reselling and you're not sure what to go out and buy, if you've got any old stuff around the house yourself, have a go with that first, because the other good thing about selling your own stuff is you know the history of it a little bit. So if it's something, if it's like a nice coat or something like that, you can tell people how long you've had it, for instance, and it's just like, yeah, I've had this from new, I've had it for a couple of years, it's been very well looked after, etc. And you just kind of give people the story and give people the picture of an item sometimes in your descriptions, and that can be quite helpful in selling them. It just gives it a more personal feel rather than just being this kind of faceless form to read, if you like. Next item, Victoria's Secret VSX gym set. I have no problem buying ladies' clothing. I go into charity shops all the time and I'll buy ladies' clothing to resell, and there's a few of my local charity shops, they know me. I tend to buy most of my clothing from charity shops, just on that note as well. The reason being, I'm not averse to buying it from car boots, as you saw with the Jack Wills gilet, that was a car boot buy. But what I find with charity shops is generally, because the stuff's hung up on hangers for a start, it's a lot easier to just have a proper look over it, give it a really good going over. But also a lot of the time, charity shops will generally steam clean the clothing as well before they hang it, so it's kind of a little bit more sanitary, and it's generally just a lot easier to look at, especially when you're not a very fashion conscious person yourself. The easier you can make the shopping experience when you're buying clothing, the better. So I tend to buy most of my clothing from charity shops, but that was a little bit of an aside from what I was saying. I have no problem buying ladies' clothing, and I've said to people in charity shops plenty of times in the past, if it doesn't fit me, can I bring it back? Stuff like that, just make a bit of a joke out of it. But this one was the first time I felt like a creepy weirdo buying a lady's clothing item in a charity shop. Mainly because of what it is. I think because it's gym gear for a start, and because it was like a size 6 or 8. It was really tiny. So I did feel like I looked like a bit of a creepy weirdo buying that in the charity shop, but regardless, it was £4.50. Sold it for $37.94 in total, and after shipping and fees made £17.19. This Victoria's Secret gym stuff is absolutely ridiculously priced, brand new. The bottoms alone go for, I think, about 60 quid in some instances, just for a pair of the sort of lycra type bottoms. It's crazy money. So I think it's one of those things that will sell very quickly if you ever have the chance to get your hands on it and get it up there. This one certainly sold very quickly. For me, this sold about 4 hours after listing it. It sold in the middle of the night to somebody in the UK as well, so it was clearly somebody up and about at late hours. But yeah, a great little sale, that one, and quite a funny little buy in some respects as well. These next two, these both went to the same buyer. You'll notice that they were both the same price and that they were both the same shipping and everything. But the profit figures are different. And the reason the profit figures are different on these is because the buyer bought this one through an ad, through a promoted listing. And then from seeing the promoted listing and buying this one, he went having a look at my other items and bought the other one. So this one didn't pay any so this one did pay promoted listing, and then the next one didn't pay promoted listing. But they both went to the same buyer. So the total profit on that one was $13.58. Star Trek the original series 2 DVD box set, and this was the Series 3 box set, and the total on that one was £14.17. Both went to the same buyer. Very nice chap, very happy with his items. Well, he's not left me any feedback yet. Next, 18th of April, men's Ted Baker polo shirt. Ted Baker, great brand to pick up and sell. You can't really go wrong with men's or ladies' Ted Baker stuff for the most part, whether it's clothing, accessories, the perfumes and aftershaves do very well, the cosmetics do very well. It's just a brand that you can kind of count on for selling. And you can often pick up some of their stuff quite cheap as well. Not so much in this instance. This was £6 for a polo shirt, which is fairly top money for what I like to pay for these sort of things, but it was quite nice. And it was one of my earlier buys as well, when I was just sort of setting out buying clothes and trying to buy the best that I could of what I knew. So this is one of my earliest clothing buys, so it was quite nice to see the back of it in that respect. Paid $5.99, sold for $22.94, and made £5.55 after shipping and fees. Next one, it's another gorgeous item. This was another one of Joe's from her collection that she was clearing out. Big shopper type tote bag. So we owned that one. It sold for £20.94. We made £9.21 after shipping and fees on that one. I'm pretty sure we got good feedback as well, but I've not put a note on it there. I think we have had positive feedback on that one, so that was another one for positive feedback. And that is it, guys, for the first part of the video. So thank you for sticking with me. I know it's been a little bit longer than my usual videos, which are already fairly epic, but do check back tomorrow for part 2 of this saga, basically. And if you enjoyed the video, please do feel free to just give the thumbs up button a press there, and do feel free to leave your comments below. If you didn't enjoy the video, feel free to give it a thumbs down and leave your comments as to why you didn't enjoy the video. As always, if you want to see more from me, do sort of click subscribe up there as well, and give the bell icon a little tickle, just so that you know when I'm uploading videos. But hopefully, guys, I'll get the second part of this video up tomorrow for you, and see you soon. Have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.